In July 2024, a worker was involved in a workplace incident inside a warehouse while unloading materials from a truck. During the process, the individual lost balance while handling a piece of aluminum and fell to the ground. Co-workers responded immediately and provided assistance. The worker was reported injured during the incident and received medical evaluation. The event prompted a review of material handling practices and safety protocols for employees working at height or while handling heavy or awkward items. Workers should maintain secure footing and proper body positioning when handling materials, especially on elevated surfaces or vehicle platforms. Using mechanical aids such as trolley or lifting devices and avoiding holding items on the body can prevent loss of balance. Regular training in safe lifting techniques, proper load handling, and situational awareness is essential to reduce the risk of falls and injuries in warehouse and loading operations. In China, a construction worker was involved in a workplace incident while performing duties at a building site. During the operation, a crane was lifting a large block of construction material when the lifting cable failed. The block fell unexpectedly and made contact with the worker standing on the ground. Crane operations require strict adherence to load limits, regular inspection of cables, and secure rigging practices. Suspended loads should never be positioned above workers, and exclusion zones should be clearly defined. Workers must be trained to recognize hazards, maintain situational awareness, and follow established protocols when near lifting operations. Proper equipment, maintenance, pre-lift planning, and continuous communication between operators and ground personnel are essential to reduce the risk of accidents and ensure a safe construction environment. In Naberezhniki, Republic of Tatarstan, Russia, a worker was involved in a workplace incident while operating a lathe machine in a manufacturing facility. During the task, the worker leaned toward the equipment as it was running. The machine's rotating components engaged unexpectedly with the individual before coworkers could intervene. Machinery with rotating parts, such as lathes, must not be accessed while in operation, and workers should maintain a safe distance from moving components. Proper guards and interlock systems should be installed and maintained to prevent inadvertent contact. And operators must receive regular training on hazard awareness and safe operating procedures. Lockout and tagout processes should be followed before any adjustments or close interaction with machinery. Regular inspection, adherence to safety protocols, and reinforcement of safe work practices help reduce the risk of fatal incidents in machine shops and industrial environments. In early 2026, at a vehicle maintenance area, an incident occurred involving a man performing repair work underneath the truck. During the maintenance activity, the truck's front cab unexpectedly slipped or collapsed from its support and fell onto the worker below. The worker was trapped beneath the front section of the vehicle when the failure occurred. The event highlights the danger of unexpected equipment movement during repair activities. When performing maintenance under raised vehicles, always use certified support stands and blocking devices rather than relying solely on jacks or temporary supports. Ensure vehicles are placed on stable, level ground, and that lifting equipment is properly rated and inspected before work begins. At a landfill and waste processing facility, a worker was standing near an active waste crushing pit while an excavator was operating as part of routine material handling. During equipment movement, the excavator shifted forward and contact occurred near the worker's position. The worker lost balance and fell into the processing pit. The incident happened quickly, and nearby personnel were unable to intervene in time. This incident demonstrates the necessity of strict exclusion zones around heavy machinery and hazardous openings. Workers should remain clear of equipment, movement paths, and unprotected edges at all times. Clear communication, designated safe standing areas, and physical barriers are essential controls to reduce the risk of severe incidents during waste handling and excavation operations. On 30 August 2021 Indonesia, a workplace incident occurred during renovation activities at the dock area. A crane was being used to transfer concrete material from a truck to piling structures using a suspended bucket. 3 workers were positioned on the bucket as part of the operation. During the lift, the crane cable unexpectedly failed, causing the bucket to fall from an estimated height of approximately 10 m. This incident demonstrates the risk of conducting lifting operations without ensuring the integrity of lifting equipment and proper personnel positioning. To prevent similar incidents, personnel should not ride on lifting buckets or suspended loads, and all crane cables and rigging components must be inspected and verified before each lift. On March 2, 2022 inches, Yemen, a truck driver was inflating a large truck tire at a repair workshop. While standing on the tire and connecting the air hose, the driver did not properly control the air pressure. The tire suddenly ruptured, producing a forceful explosion. CCTV footage captured the event, showing the rapid and unexpected nature of tire explosions during inflation. High-pressure tires can explode suddenly if air pressure exceeds the recommended limits. Workers should always use proper inflation equipment, including pressure regulators, and maintain a safe distance while inflating tires. Using protective barriers, following manufacturer guidelines for pressure, and wearing appropriate personal protective equipment can prevent serious accidents. On January 31, 2020 inches, St. Petersburg, Russia, the roof of the SKK Sports and Concert Complex collapsed during dismantling work. A 9-year-old worker, Matt Vucherov, had exited a suspended man cage without using a safety line to perform tasks on the roof. When the roof structure gave way, the worker was caught in the collapse. Rescue teams recovered the individual from the rubble, and authorities noted that approximately 80% of the stadium walls had collapsed during the demolition process. Working at heights and near unstable structures requires strict use of personal protective equipment and fall prevention systems. In Heilongjiang Province, China, at a construction site on October 10th, 2 workers were involved in a crane-related incident during lifting operations. The workers were positioned on the counterweight section of a mobile crane, acting as an improvised ballast while the machine was in use. During the lifting task, the load shifted and the entire crane tilted to one side. As the crane toppled, both workers were thrown from the elevated position to the ground. Workers must never ride on or manually act as ballast on lifting equipment. Counterweights and stabilizing components should be used as designed by the manufacturer, and load charts and stabilization procedures must be strictly followed. In a maritime operation involving a dredge barge, an overloaded vessel experienced a structural failure while underway. The barge's hull fractured, splitting into 2 sections as a result of stresses that exceeded its structural limits during the dredging activity. The incident has drawn attention within the professional marine community and was documented in video footage shared publicly, highlighting the importance of load management and vessel condition assessments. Barges and similar vessels must be operated within their rated capacity, and regular inspections should confirm that hull structures, welds, and supports are sound before and during operations. Dredging contractors and vessel operators should implement formal load monitoring procedures, and crews should be trained to recognize early signs of structural stress. By maintaining rigorous standards for vessel maintenance and operational limits, marine incidents can be prevented and crew safety upheld. In a training or logistics environment involving armored vehicles, an Israeli Army main battle tank was being driven onto a transport trailer when an unexpected loss of balance occurred. Video circulating on social platforms shows the tank's tracks beginning to climb the trailer's ramp. At a critical point in the maneuver, the tank lost stability and tipped, ultimately flipping upside down. The driver and crew members were able to exit the vehicle, and reports indicate that any injuries sustained were minor. Local military authorities secured the scene and initiated a review of the circumstances, focusing on trailer alignment, ground conditions, and safe loading procedures for heavy armored vehicles. This incident underscores the importance of strict adherence to approved loading procedures when moving heavy armored vehicles. Operators and support personnel must verify that ramps are correctly positioned and rated for the vehicle's weight, that ground conditions are stable, and that the approach angle allows controlled movement without compromising balance. Conducting a pre-operation safety brief, confirming wheel or track alignment, and using guides or spotters can reduce the risk of loss of control, protect crew members, and preserve valuable equipment during transport operations.